Okay. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Morning.
We start this meeting on a new time as per popular demand, and hopefully we'll have much more audience. So today, first of all, if we look at it today, it's a very beautiful day. It's not just a good sunny morning, but it's also Vasant Panchami. It's a festival that is dedicated to Goddess Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge, wisdom, and learning. This day symbolizes growth, creativity, and enlightenment. Now, how else to celebrate this day? Today we have such a beautiful book. Don't believe. What is it, Bharatji?
Don't believe in everything you think. Actually, it's not don't believe in everything. Actually, the group was
Yes.
formed that way. Actually.
Yes. Now, why I personally connect this book, because everybody knows that I'm a very big fan of Bhagavad Gita. And if anybody asks me what is the one thing that I've learned from Bhagavad Gita, it is that mind can be your best friend and your worst enemy. And it is the mind that thinks. So we need to know how to filter the thoughts that mind thinks. We need to understand what we need to follow and what we need to not follow. Now, for this wonderful book, we have a team of 4 reviewers, all of whom have a wonderful background. They're quite senior. We have a repeat reviewer who is the senior of all of them in this particular activity. We have CA Bharat Gupta. He is a chartered accountant having more than 10 years of experience, and he has taken more than 100 batches of MCS and OC. He is a fitness freak and loves running, cycling, and hitting the gym. I really wish I could follow that. Then we have the beautiful Dr.LeeAna Sane. She is a PhD and master's in counseling from USA with over 17 years of experience in counseling and training. I personally know her. We had a wonderful time in 2018, right, Leanne? Jan 2018.
Yes.
A wonderful time in Noida. So she has counseled over 50,000 from India and US, and she has been with ICAI for the past 16 years, been associated with the OC and MCS batches. She is also a national aerobics coach and a referee. So we have 2 fitness freaks, and one more, feather in Leanne's cap is that she is her book is going to be published very soon in the next few months. Then we have CA Roopa. She's a unique combination of a chartered accountant and an HR expert. She is certified IS auditor. She is an accomplished author and a well-known acknowledged speaker. She has again managed the India Support and Research and Development Center of T8. It is based out of Bangalore. And prior to this, she has held various senior management positions in the industry. And last but not the least, we have Harshali, CA Harshali Salvi. Harshali is a practicing chartered accountant in Indore. She is a writer. So we have 4 people who are not just into fitness, they also love writing. She's a writer of various technical topics related to income tax and financial literacy. She has handled various MS Excel automation projects, and she has been a career counselor with ICAI. And besides that, you have me, that is Dr. Sandhya Patil. Yes, I just introduce you all. The stage is yours. But I love reading and I love connecting with people. So the stage is yours. And thank you all for being such a wonderful audience. Yes.
Thank you, Sandhya. That was lovely. Now, I guess I will need to share my screen so we can get the...
I have given the rights.
Okay, sure. So let me find the...
We can see your screen, by the way.
Oh, okay. So I'm assuming you can see this. Yeah. So here we are on a
We can see a
topic.
Windows Explorer, Roopa.
You can't, okay. It says here your screen, but it doesn't show the screen. It doesn't show.
You have to double click that.
Okay. Which I did. How does this work now? You cannot see the slide?
Your PPT has not
Actually,
yet
when you're
opened.
sharing,
So you
share the
open that
screen. It's
PPT.
not like
Yeah.
a
No, it says your screen sharing.
Yes.
no, screen can be like a
But then when I tried to do it, it is. Oh.
yeah.
Thanks, Harshali. Okay, so you will have to move the slides because I don't think I can. Okay. Now, yeah, let's go to the next slide. We got this detail. We will be talking about this book, Don't Believe Everything You Think. It's been written by an author, Joseph Nguyen. And the good thing or the smart thing about it is it's been translated into 17 languages. A short intro of the author itself. He believes that he is a spiritual thought leader with a mission to help others achieve divine purpose. Therefore, the question comes up saying we are a group of not necessarily spiritual people. So why are we listening to a book by a spiritual thought leader? But then if you really read the book and the way he kind of introduces the book, we realize what the kind of tips he's giving is about how to become successful in various aspects of life through a different perspective. Next slide, please. And he says that, in fact, he claims very strongly that there will be a significant change from within after we read this book. And he says that the only thing you need is an open mind and a willing heart, which, though it sounds very simple, oftentimes it is difficult to actually practice. So, which means that we should all keep this awareness that if you want to learn something, then, or if you want to understand a new perspective, we need to have an open mind and open heart. He says that there have been people who have got a 2 to 5% increase in income, exponential growth in businesses, disappearance of destructive habits, lifelong addictions have disappeared. So, which means that it actually impacts various aspects of our life. It is not necessarily a spiritually oriented book, which is what is very interesting the way we, if we go through this book. Next slide, please. And he says, don't read this book for information, read it for insight, which is very incredible. Now, when we read a book, if we read it only for information, we are actually superfluously reading it. We read the information, and then once we close the book, most often it disappears. But if we get an insight out of it, it will actually stay with us. And if you want to find truth, we have to look beyond words and look for a feeling. And this is where I think it is a big shift, a very paradigm shift from the rest of the authors. Everyone tells us, think, listen to your mind, don't listen to your heart. But heart is where the feeling is. Here is this author who's telling, okay, you think, but what is more important is the feeling. And if really all of us put our hand on our heart, we will realize that the times when we have been happy is when we have allowed our heart to lead the way. Not necessarily always in the mind. And if we want to find truth, it is actually very simple. He says the truth is so simple, but we think the truth cannot be so simple. Life cannot be so simple. So we try to complicate things and refuse to see the very obvious. And as we go through the book, you will all realize, oh God, this is what I do. This is what it actually helped me. And then we'll realize that it is actually, life is very simple. Next slide, please. Here, I think what is important is that we should all understand. And the best way to understand is to have us play a certain role. And I'd like to introduce a role play here where let's listen to what a monk is going to say. And obviously, where there is a monk, there has to be a disciple or a learner. Over to you. Bharat?
Yeah, in this role play, like I'll be the monk and Harshali will be the learner here. Dear friend, the most important lesson for you is to stop overthinking and not to believe every thought you have.
I really want to learn from you. I want to be peaceful and calm. I want to be successful, even rich also.
For that, my friend,
But master, I have PhD degrees in taxation, doing diploma, and regularly learning new things, or doing research in AI. And
hold on a
I'm
moment.
doing
Hold on a moment. Would you like to like have some tea? I'm just pouring a tea in the cup.
master, the tea is overflowing. It will be wasted.
Exactly. You know, just like the overflowing tea, all the wisdom I'm trying to share with you will be wasted in case your mind is full. It will just spill over. No? So for that, you need to first empty your mind and make space. Then only like the thing will like you'll be able to absorb. So if you can't keep your mind closed, what's the point? Yeah.
Excellent.
So this sets the tone for the book review. Here where the important message is like you have to like keep your mind empty. No? That's where the title goes. Don't believe in everything you think. Just imagine, friends, for a moment, whatever happens in your life, the significance of it lies in the importance you gonna give. Am I right or not? Imagine, imagine yourself with various situations you had in your life. The importance of it is given by you. Am I right? Yeah. So imagine, just hypothetically, let's imagine all of you are there eagerly like listening to this book review. Unfortunately, all your guys mobile got spilled, and by that your screen got broken. No, I'm not wishing you, it should happen. Just hypothetically, let's assume, for the sake of driving home the. So what will be the reactions of each of one? Each of the person reaction will be unique. Am I right? You may be like having a suffering. Oh no, like my favorite mobile. I mean, this is a favorite thing gifted by someone. The screen has been broken. Or like some may tell, okay, it's bound to happen. Let's move on. So the reaction will always be subjective. Am I right? That's exactly the premise, on which the entire book is based. It says that according to this book, it's not the event per se which determines whether whatever is the reaction. Actually, it is the opposite. Your reaction will determine the significance of that event. So this is where we need to understand that suffering is always optional. Every time any bad event happens, there is a quote, Buddhist quote, which says 2 arrows get hit when something painful event happens in our life. One is the event per se, and the second arrow is the suffering what will have. Suffering is always optional. As the quote says, what comes to us, we don't have a control over it. However, how to react, we always have the control. We would have listened this quote maybe empty number of times, but still when the event comes, we forget this, and we always choose the path where suffering is there. Actually, suffering is optional. Yeah. So next comes the author's journey for the author's journey in pursuit of finding a way not to suffer. the author wanted to like search. I mean, author wanted to like learn the technique where he should not suffer for any event happening in his life. He did immense research, went through like different teachings, studies, and even methods. Went to various therapists, psychologists, listened many like different leaders, different habits, waking up at 4 a.m., etc., etc. So many things he did. Even though like this was able to like mitigate some kind of like suffering, but ultimately like he was not able to like get over like the suffering per se. So he felt dejected, that even though I've tried everything, I'm not able to like get over like this a technique of like mastering the art where I shouldn't suffer. Actually, he felt like more lost than before. When this was happening, ultimately like like when there is a darkness, a light comes. So there was a glimmer of hope. He found a mentor, thereby like where he uncovered the secret, how to elevate the suffering. The answer lied is understanding how our minds work and how the human experience is created and applying them. So the particulars of these concepts will be like dwelled in subsequent chapters. I request like next slide, please. Yeah. Now let's see like what the root cause of all suffering. Before that, we always live in a world of thoughts, not reality. Maybe this may be surprising for you, like, but it is eventually like the truth. Let me give a small example. Like, like assume that, all of, I can see like 16 on board. Assume that, we are going for a cafe. I mean, for a cafe, having a coffee, all 16 of us. There was like a simmering hot coffee which came. The aroma is fantastic. All of the 16, we drank the coffee. However, when asked for a reaction, do you think like all the 16 guys will be like having the same response? Just asking a question. Naturally, it will be no, right? It will be like varying response. So why is that varying response? Because we are coming to the cafe with something in our mind. Like see, for example, like you have a thing called carried on effect. Supposing like there is some bad event happening at your place or something, like just before you walked into the cafe, the coffee will be like exactly, the experience of drinking the coffee will be like biased, more like that. So what I'm trying to tell is thinking here is the root cause, for all the suffering. And similarly, like you ask anything, for example, you ask 100 people like what money means, you'll get 100 different answers. So eventually, like, it is the thought which predominates, like our way of life and our like the experience of life. So that is where like, the author believes like we should not develop this habit of thinking too much. Yes. As I said earlier, the experience is always subjective due to the fact that like we are living in our thought and perception of the world. In our thoughts, our world is meant. The meaning of which we give of that event determines ultimately how you feel about it. Reality is the event happened with no meaning, thinking or interpretation of it. Our feelings, very, very important point here. Our feelings do not come from external event, but from our own thinking about that event. Therefore, we can only feel what we are thinking. See, if you are thinking something like about any bad thing in your life or something like, and doing thing, your feeling will be always like that only. Am I right? For example, assume that like you and your family like are having seeing a funny movie, and you have some frustration about work life. Hypothetically, assume that you hate your job like hell, and it is creating enormous amount of stress, anxiety, and frustration. It pains you to like even think about the office or like set a foot into that building. And imagine like with this backdrop, you're like watching that family show together. Everyone in the family like will be having good time excepting you. Why? Because you're thinking about there. You're like your mind has not carried on to the present situation. It is like anchored there. It is not the question of the job experience, since everyone who, it is not the question like everyone is having like a problem with that job. Because if you ask a question to that organization, I mean to the people working there, someone might have had a like very good fantastic blissful work life. Am I right? So it is not the question of job, it is the thinking what like we have, which is the major culprit in all this. Yeah, let's do a like small experiment. I want you guys like think that like you hate your job. Assume that like like all you guys are like working, right? So I want you guys like imagine just like that you hate your job and like you want to get rid of it. So the moment you get rid of this, what will be your answer? I mean, like what you will be your feeling? It will be like happy, peaceful, free, etc. Right? Yeah. Without our
Yes.
user thinking about a particular event, our experience of it completely alters. This is how like a world of thought, not reality. So from this, we can conclude that the root cause of suffering lies in our thinking. The more you're gonna think, the more will be the suffering always. I know that we can only feel what we are thinking. So what is the important message here? We can change our experiences of our life by knowing that it comes with our own thinking. So they say now awareness is the first step to change. So from this chapter, we are aware that thinking is the root cause of all the suffering. Yeah. We have another monk story which will be dealing later. I want like next slide, please. Yeah. Now the moot point comes. Why do we even think? See, evolutionary process has made us like this. Initially, like we were hunter gatherers. So like what used to happen? Like we used to like always go out, hunt, went for hunting and coming back. So like in the evolutionary process, our minds were like evolved to think a lot. Why? Because it made us to survive. Only like when we think, other alternatives used to come. However, this evolutionary process is transition even to now. We live in a situation where like we don't have a threat of like a survival. We are not battling like something like life and death every day. But still, like the process of thinking, is there always. Not only like this thinking has this ability not only make us sensitize about the threats, but it also like makes us give an hypothesis based on our previous experiences we have, and it gives the various alternatives in order to like make us different paths for survival. Mind does an amazing job. However, time has come to relieve its duty, since we no longer live in a world of survival or death. And leave go that listening of the mind, which ultimately like helps us only to survive, but it will not help us to thrive. Yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, now let's like important aspect. What is the difference between a thought versus thinking? So thought means it's like they say on an average a human thinks about 50 to 60,000 thoughts every day. So thoughts are inherent. You cannot stop like having a thought. I mean, it's impossible. Even like where you go to a meditative state and like do a meditation, still the thoughts keep on coming. So these are like we cannot control them. These are pervasive. Like they are inherent. They are something which doesn't come from outside, but it comes from the within. The moment like you see anything, a thought come. Whatever like even if you don't see anything, like a thought come. We cannot control them. Thinking, on the other hand, stops after the thought. I mean, it starts after the thought. After the thought has come, you start to think. Thinking, what it does, it consumes energy and effort and willpower. Since you engage with each and every thought, we can conclude by telling that thoughts are optional, but no, thoughts are not optional, but thinking is always optional. See, A thought you cannot prevent, but however, thinking you can always prevent. Yeah. Now, naturally, like a question comes, what about positive thoughts? Positive thoughts are like thoughts where you feel good. So naturally, like a question comes, do we have to like even think that way in order to like get these positive thoughts? No, it is not like that. So, for example, like let's assume that like we have gone for a like seeing some nature to some place called Uti. The nature is so beautiful. Thoughts come naturally. I mean, the positive thoughts come naturally. You need not think or like you need not like get any inducement to get a positive thought. It comes naturally. Let's just give a small demo to differentiate thoughts versus thinking. I want each of you close your eyes and imagine yourself like what is the dream amount you're gonna make in a year. It's up to you. You need not reveal. Keep it within you. So this is called as a thought. I mean, probably like every one of you like got some amount, right? This is a thought. And I want that amount to be multiplied by 5. And I have a follow-up question. What do you think about this dream amount multiplied by 5? Now the varying questions come. Now the thinking is in process. See, earlier it was only thought. When I asked like think about a amount, a thought came. It was like sans any thinking, etc. Now I ask like whether that what do you think about this amount? Then your mind starts to think, is it sufficient? How is it possible to get this much amount, etc. Are you there? So like that's how it is. Thoughts always like creates anxiety, stress, guilt, and possible any other possible negative emotion. It imbibes you. I mean, it catches you. So to sum up, thoughts create and thinking destroys. Are you there? But just by that small demo, I've demonstrated that like how thinking is very bad. Thoughts always are neutral. Only like when thinking came, it brought in a limiting belief, judgment, criticisms, programming, and conditioning our thought, etc. Without thinking, we could have prevented all the negative programming and judgment from tarnishing the initial thought. For example, I'll just give a small example, layman's example. Supposing one of us thought to got a thought, let's do some 10,000 rupees, like let me give a 10,000 rupees for some charities. That is a thought. The moment your thought came, it is followed by a thinking. Your mind will start to say whether that 10,000 is too much. Hey, hang on, you have some other priorities. Let's back it off, something like that. So ultimately, what happens? It creates to a situation where the thought, it tarnishes. I mean, it is vitiated, right? So exactly. So always learn to not think too much. That's a way you need to elevate your suffering. Probably you should learn not to think much. That's the synopsis of 4 chapters. By the way, we have one more role play. Roopa, you ready? Yes.
Thank you so much, because now I have understood what thinking does and how not to engage and all that.
Yeah, my friend, why don't you explain this to other disciples who are there?
Oh, yes. But Master, I must tell you, you remember you told me that I should think and I should meditate and I should be quiet. I tried everywhere, so much sound, sound of vehicles, sound of people, sound of town. I got so bugged. So then I went and decided I will go and sit near the pond. There it will be very quiet. But there also so much sound. Birds are chirping and all kinds of things are happening. I feel the world does not want me to meditate only. I got so mad. Then one day I saw one boat near the pond. I went and sat in the boat, went right into the middle of the pond, and there I meditated. Oh God, it was so nice, no sound. I was able to meditate so nicely. Then I realized what you have told is right, that we should meditate properly. Like I was doing so many days, it was very nice. Then one day I was meditating, I heard a splash. And from that, when I opened my eyes, I see one boat coming from the other side directly at me. I became so frightened. I thought this boat will hit me. So, but I kept shouting at that, at that boat, saying, don't, change your direction. But no response. The boat came and hit my boat. And then I started shouting at the boat person, that driver of that boat, saying, what do you think? But then, I was so surprised. There is nobody in the boat. Suddenly it struck me, Guruji, that all the sounds, all the distractions, all the whatever is like the empty boat. It will come. It has got nothing to do. I have no control. What I have control over, I have control that I should not get distracted. These sounds, these actions will be there. Lord, I thank you so much, Master, that you have taught me that if I keep control over my thought, I will be able to meditate and learn what I wanted to do. I should not say that I don't have any control, but actually I had control. Thank you so much, Master, for helping me understand.
Yes, my friend. So the summary of this is, it is not the event which is causing you anger. It is your reaction, which is towards the incident, what is happened, is creating this anger. So hope so, you'll have a blissful life from now onwards. Yes.
Thank
Yeah. Can we go to the slide, please? Slide, Harshali, can you? Yeah, continuing, whatever the differences between thoughts and thinking. Here, various attributes are there. The thought is always like, if you observe this matrix, thoughts are always like positive. If you see, weight, light, energy, expansive, nature, infinite, quality, creative, and always thinking is always negative. If you see, this matrix, when it comes to weight, you always think, it is, maybe this is heavy. Whereas when it comes to energy, maybe like it's restrictive, nature, it's limited, quality, destructive, charge, negative. So from this, you can observe there is always thought. You should have always thoughts more and thinking less. Why? Because thinking is always lands you in a negative framework of mind. Hope this point is sensitized, right? Yes, very important point. Just to drive home the point that do lesser of thinking. Next slide, please. Yeah. So we only feel what we are thinking. Do we need to think positively to feel that way? This is one of the what I say, other alternative, other paradigm, other paradigm where we need to think about it. Yeah. We only feel negative emotions when we are thinking. The goal is not to stop negative feelings altogether, since few negative emotions during our evolutionary process, where we evolved to have that negative emotions in order for us to get survival in this world. However, those no longer needed as of now, because we live in an era where we are not battling death each and every day. So naturally, a question comes to us: do we have to think positive in order to get positive emotions? So I'll just to carry home this point, a small demonstration. I want every one of you to close your eyes, think for some 10 seconds, the most joyful moment you ever felt in your life. Yeah, probably everyone is got their a positive, the most joyous moment of their life. I want even to subsequently think how much feeling you, how much thinking you were doing at that point of time. What will be the answer? So probably it will be almost close to nil. Am I right? Exactly. So the most joyous moment in your life will always be like at a stage where you're doing the least of thinking. So there lies the answer. So we know we do not have thoughts. We need not have. We should. I mean, we need not have thoughts or something to feel positive, to get a positive emotion. You need not have a thought straight away. Like like it will come naturally. That's an important point there. Take an example. Like, have you seen ever a baby? It's so joyful. Why it is so joyful? Because it doesn't think. I mean, babies are like still in the process of evolutionary stage of my mind, where they don't have the capacity to think. That's why like they're in a state of like a blissful. Of course, if they are hungry or something, like they may cry. But sans that, like I mean, if hunger is not there or something, you can see a baby. It always like is so cheerful because there is no thinking at all. Yeah. One more like last demo we'll have. I want to like recall uh, all of you to recall a moment where you had like the most terrible moment of your life. And probably like everyone like visualize like, the terrible moments of their life. I want one more follow-up thing to be done. I want you to like even have a gauge of the level of thinking you had at that time. What's the answer? It will be at the highest. Am I right? So when you were like having the terrible moment, your like thinking level was like at the highest. So it's like more or less like a speedometer in the car. See, if you see a speedometer, the moment like it goes like two speed, it will be in the red zone. Am I right? I think the green zone is economy zone or something, and the red zone is like almost danger zone. That's exactly going to happen if you are like overthinking, like about anything. That will lead to stress. You'll be burnt out, frustrated, anger, and probably like resorting to like even like there are so many umpty number of examples where even the suicide was like the recourse, like to get out of this thinking. It's too much that you can't even handle. It's not like what you're thinking about which is causing the suffering, but it is the thinking per se which is causing the suffering. So the less thinking we have, the more space we create for the positive emotion to naturally like surface. Yeah. So this was the like essence of chapter 5. So from this we can conclude that you want to like have a positive like positive feeling. The only way you can do it is you have to lower your thinking. So hope the like message is clear. So from now onwards, hope everyone like will think less and like enjoy their lives more, because for the positive thing to seep in, you should like as I said before, your cup has to be empty in order to be full. So if you're like thinking your cup is full, so naturally like you will not seep in. So this was about like chapter 1 to 5. Over to like Roopa. Yes. Roopa, you're there?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think Harshali has the presentation, right? Okay. Harshali, can we go to the next slide, please?
Questions you may ask at your end.
Yeah, questions, I think we will leave it for the end because I heard Bharat, you give a lot of information.
Okay.
More rejoinder questions a little later. So I think we'll proceed with the next set of chapters. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So we have all the insights and discussion from the of first 5 chapters, as Bharatji explained that suffering comes from our own thinking, and we often mistake by believing our thoughts. We believe that our thoughts are real, and we keep believing this thing all the time. Now we understood that how the thoughts shape our experience, and how do we free ourselves from the unnecessary thinking and live with peace and clarity. In the next few minutes, I will take you through the journey from understanding of our thoughts to mastering them. We will also explore how to stop overthinking, how to set stress-free goals, experience the unconditional love and true happiness. So let's begin with how our reality is created. The three principles explain why our experience feels so real and how we can change them. This book explained that our experience isn't shaped by what happens to us, but how we see and how we process those moments, those thoughts. It will all come down to the three principles only. There is a universal mind. It represents the source of wisdom and awareness within us. You can take an example for this of a sun. It is always shining and providing energy to everything, right? And the second thing, it is universal consciousness. For in this example, we can take this is our eyes. Our eyes are helping us to see and make sense of the world around us. This is universal consciousness. It is how we become aware of our thoughts and how we experience it. And the third thing comes is universal thought. We imagine wearing glasses. The color of sunglasses will show you the world. That is not true. But what you wear, you will assume that is the real. If you are wearing the sunglasses of green color, you will see the whole world is green. But that is not true. But you believe that is true. So, by this example, we can understand that we believe that our thoughts are real. So, the lesson come from this chapter is our thoughts shape our experience and not our circumstances shape our experience. So, if we change how we think, we can change how we feel. So, let's all choose the sunglasses of our life anew and light. It is a simple saying in a Hindi, नजर नहीं नजरिया चेंज कीजिए. So when we see the things with a different perspective, it will change what you feel, right? Let's move further. The question comes how we can stop the overthinking, right? But the question is, why do we do overthinking? The book explains that overthinking happens when we hold on too tightly to our thoughts instead of letting them come and go naturally. It's like trying to clear up muddy water by stirring it more and more. By stirring it, you will only make it worse. But the key is to stop forcing your thought and let them settle on their own. Let's imagine you are standing beside a river and you see the leaves are floating on it. You need not to jump to catch every leaf, right? Similarly, when a stressful thought appears, first ask yourself, it is the right time that is helping you right now? Or if it is not helping you, then let's go it away. Overthinking is like cutting your own self. When you overthink, you start suffering. Let me explain you this with an example. I think we all have the era of radio, right? So, from the participant, I need answer here. So you are in a mood of energy, like you want to dance right now, right? And you are in the era of radio, so you are not going to select the song in a mobile app and directly play it. So you turn on your radio, but the song playing on the radio right now is totally different what you want. what will you do at this moment?
Change the channel.
Yes, absolutely. You will change the channel. So, similarly, if it comes to our life, we want to feel happy and we want to feel relaxed every time, right? But what we do? We often stuck on a worry FM, replaying the stressful thoughts over and over again instead of changing the channel. This book reminds us when we shift our channel, maybe it a chill bit or anything else, happy bits. So if you change the channel, you will be relaxed. So it's not about overthinking. It's not about the shutting off all your thoughts completely. It is choosing the new or the one thought which help you out. So the next time when you feel stuck, just ask yourself, am I on the right frequency? Right? So next move on to the next thing. How can we possibly thrive into words of overthinking? How can we write it off? This is the magic tool if I give you, right? It's not shutting down. You cannot stop thinking it. You cannot stop your mind completely. You can't have any time a blank mind without any thought. It can't happen. Our human body is not, हमारी बॉडी उस तरीके से नहीं बनी है. Sir, it's more about trusting your intuition. You know those moments when an athlete in a zone or artist is creating something magical. When he's creating magical because he's not overthinking on each step. Instead, they are following their inner rhythm. Let's take an example here. It's like going a trip without pre-planning about any site visit, staying on the hotel or travel. You have planned nothing, but you just step out for a trip, right? And when you step out, everything is going so smoothly. You landed up, you got the best hotel for the stay, you enjoy delicious food, which you are not going to have if this trip was planned. And you return back to the home with full energy, positivity, and lots of new experiences. So, this is the magic of not overthinking, right? It is a mind free, it is a mind free of all the clutters, free of thoughts, or we can say free of overthinking. This book suggests when you are present in the moment, your decisions become so easy. You are just believing in your trust. In other words, we can say that let's see whether this thing goes right. And now let's talk about how it connects with our dreams and goals. The author says that you must set your goals of inspiration out of the inspiration and not from the desperation. Just think you are planting a tree. Are you going to dig it every day to see that it is growing or not? Absolutely not. What you do, you simply water it, you give it proper sunlight, proper air, and trust that within some time, within few days, it will going to flourish. Like the goals are also like this. If you suppose an example, if you are dreaming to start a business, focus on the excitement of creating something meaningful. But if you obsess every little setbacks, you will end up and stuck in a constant planning and replanning everything. In this way, you are not moving forward further. It will be like dog is chasing its own tail. If you believe in the process, it will happen naturally. It's like when you dance, if you stop overthinking at every step, it will just go with the rhyme. I hope everyone has danced anytime, but you move freely and actually every day, right? And when you dance, actually, you think about what will be your next move. No, we never think about that. We just go with the rhythm, right? So, what you not just need to trust your inner wisdom. And when you do, success feels lighter, easier, and much more fun. This is all the author talks about. But what about the love? What is the unconditional love and the love out of creation? Unconditional love means love without any expectation, without any expectation that you get something in the return, and without any reason. It's like the sun is gives us shine no matter what. It is not choosing the one, this one is looking so handsome, so put a more shine on it. So it is not like that. The, the unconditional love, it's like a parents love their children. They love their children without any expectation in the return. Failure and success of a child doesn't matters to them. That's the unconditional love. And the book shares a very touching story of the partner of his author. I want to share it here. Uh, the author of the partner has a girlfriend, and after dating her girlfriend for about a year, as anyone would in the relationship would ask, the partner asked his girlfriend why she loved him. And his girlfriend innocently replied that she didn't know why she loved. She just knew that she loved him. On the other part, the partner has the list of reasons why he loves her. He was loving her because she has a beautiful smile. Her heart is pure. She loves her family more, and the list is almost indefinitely. After being in a relationship for at least 6 years, he again asked why she loved him, even up to this point also. And her answer was same. I don't know. I just know that I love you a lot. And this slightly bothered him. That the thing of bothering is कि there is so much a long period. And still she don't know why she loved him, because I have a list of reason to love her. Why can't she has? So eventually the years he just accepted and continued to love her anyway because he can't help himself also. But one day he was thinking him all self. He was talking with his own self. He did he love her because of her laugh, or because she is helping other people's? And what happens if she doesn't laugh like she's laughing right now? Or one day when she is not helping other people's? And then he realized that if he's creating a reason to love her, he is making his love a conditional love for her. And if she doesn't do the certain things on some day, would he stop loving her? Of course, the answer was that he loved her even that also. And in that moment, he inside that his girlfriend couldn't list off the reason because she's loving him unconditionally, right? So if we are practicing all this unconditional, means this unconditional love in our life, we can do this thing from small things like we need to forgive our friend without needing an apology, or helping a stranger without expecting gratitude, or do anything without any expectation. If you are doing this, you are in a state of unconditional love, I think. It is love is like a gifting, because it is shifting our focus from what I can get to how I can give or what I can give, right? So finally, we are little bit come to a secret. But what after we achieve all these things, the fulfillment, the unconditional love, the non-thinking state, the state of bliss,
Harshali,
what we,
Harshali, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you all need to speed up a little.
yeah,
It's going too slow because LeeAna is yet to start.
yes.
Thank you.
So what do you know, what you need to do next? This will, to achieve this state, you have to, when you achieve this state, actually, you are freeing up the energy you used for the thinking earlier. You are using energy, actually, you are using your energy for the thinking and keep going thinking. So when you are straight in non-thinking, you are freeing up that energy, and that energy will needs a direction. Otherwise, if you are not going this energy to direction, you will go back again into the some earlier state also. So what you can do in this case, you can use this energy into your goals. To make this work, make sure that you have spent some time creating your goals out of the inspiration and not from the desperation. When you create your goals out of inspiration, you are having a top of the mind so that you can channelize all your energy towards the goal. Yes. Other than this, you can also set your morning rituals, how you need to start your day, and this play a major role for the rest, how your rest of the day is going, right? You can also help others to achieve the non-thinking and share your journey with them. So the summary of all this chapter, what I tell, the book tells that when we stop overthinking, we started trust the process and focus on the inspired goal, life becomes more easier, more fulfilling. So we take questions later, right? So this book has some more interesting ideas. Dr. LeeAna will share more insights on that. Over to you, LeeAna.
Well, it is always a wonderful time to review the book. And when we are reviewing the book in such a manner that we always want everything in control, maybe time or whatever is going on around us, maybe it is in the kitchen or probably when we are driving, we want everything to be in our control. This particular chapter, nothing is either good or bad. Let's imagine you're stuck in a traffic. What kind of traffic? Maybe the Saturday morning or the Saturday evening traffic, and you are just so angry that I really want to get someplace in time and I'm not able to. Honestly speaking, do you think you have control over it? It is really important during this time of chaos, that you have to calm down. Trust me, you cannot control everything. And that's the reason there is immense level of stress and anxiety causing, what should I do? I am just not able to handle this. Each and every person is not able to understand what exactly they should do. It's their fault. That's what they are doing. Nothing is happening according to my will. Yes, but honestly speaking, if you read this chapter and go a little bit deeper, the true peace lies when you surrender all these stress and all these thoughts, saying, it's okay, I'm not in control, and everything has a reason to happen. Yes, there is immense level of uncertainty in life, each and every single moment. In an interview, every person is asked, what do you think you are going to do in next 5 years? Honestly, we are unsure. We prepare our answer and we try to foresee it, but we don't even know what the next moment is having for us. So please try to embrace that uncertainty in your life and let go of the control, because that is going to free you all. Just like the keyboard has the black and the white keys, and each and every key is equally important. Next slide, please. How do you know what to do without thinking? Come on, all my life I have just thought about, and I don't know if I will not think what I'll do. Maybe I'll go crazy. Maybe I'll go mad. I will probably I'll lose power. What should I do? Yes, we tend to get scared that if I don't think about certain thing, what will happen next? Right from our childhood, we are taught one particular factor. Think before you do anything, because that's how the life is going to make you wiser and brilliant. Yes, of course, it is a need, but at the same time, we get into the mode of overthinking, fearing of something that does not even exist. Maybe it is just a shadow of the uncertainty that we feel is reducing our own strength, our own power. And trust me, this is all happening in our minds. We are constructing all these thoughts and somehow identifying them as the evil, as the demonic spirits that are against us. If we really want to understand how we would like to overcome or get away, and what is it that we have to think? When Dr. Sandhya introduced us, she mentioned us that we are the fitness freaks. Yes. What can we do without thinking? There are many things that we can do without thinking. Probably running, jogging, exercising, working out, everything. And trust me, those things, when we do without thinking, carry out the best results in us, not just physically, but also emotionally and mentally. Next slide, please. So how to follow your intuition? Once we know that we don't want to think, we don't want to waste our time thinking, there's that tiny voice in our heads. It's almost always talking to us. Bharat, you already mentioned 60,000 thoughts per day we tend to think each and every single day. But that tiny thought, that intuition, some people call it from divine intervention. Some people call it, oh, it's from God. It's from the universe, wherein you are told what is necessary, what is unnecessary. Please understand what is temporary and what is fulfilling and long and everlasting per se. True happiness is something that is going to emerge or get ahead right from within you. Please remember that this intuition you have to not ignore, but pay attention, pay close attention. I'm not talking here about the negative stuff that the mind keeps on boggling. You're not good enough. You're not the right person. People are not happy about you. It's not about that. It's about more about, yes, this is the gut feeling that I'm getting. Maybe this is the right decision I want to go ahead with. I really want to make this happen. That's what the intuition we are calling. And trust me, this level of acceptance and the joy will follow you naturally. Next slide, please. I want miracles to happen in my life. Trust me. I believe I'm a part and participle of a miracle. A few years ago, I had this crazy accident in my life, and I was declared as dead on the road. I can really relate to this particular chapter when the author mentioned, yes, you have to give space to the miracles. Yeah. Whenever we are thinking either of the past or of the future. But the peace, the joy, the love lies in the present moment. If you start focusing on the now, and right from the time of my accident, trust me, I've been started living in the present moment. Because thinking of the future, thinking of the past, only emerges suffering in us, nothing else. So please give that space for miracles to happen in your life, because that will change your life, my dear ones. Next slide, please. So, what happens when you begin living in a non-thinking? Okay, now I have decided, now I'm not going to think much. I'm just going to do, and will do it in the present moment. I let go of fear and have faith in the unknown. Yes, I'm not going to control anything. Trust me, happiness is our natural state. It's not an achievement. You cannot own it unless and until you start surrendering yourself in the process of it. This particular chapter starts with Dalai Lama's quote, "Do not let the behavior of others destroy your inner peace." Trust me, I strongly believe in this. Don't let others have the emotional remote control of yours in somebody else's hand. It's absolutely necessary for us to have faith in us and the faith in the uncertainty to gain and accept ourselves the way we are and naturally surrender to this process. Because trust me, faith can move mountains. And that's the reason we are here, and we are completely joyous to express this particular book review with such an excitement. Over to you, Roopa ma'am.
Roopa, are you there?
Even otherwise, we are done with the presentation, I guess.
Yes.
Yes.
Can anybody take up Rupa's part, or it's...
Yeah, I'm back again.
Yes.
Okay. So basically now we've seen the first few chapters, all the chapters being dealt with by Bharat and then Harshali and LeeAna. So if we summarize, I think a recap will help us. We have to understand that thoughts are not facts. Thoughts are just thoughts. And if we keep thinking about those thoughts, that is when suffering arises. Lots of examples were quoted. If I get a thought and I engage with it, saying, should I do this? Should I not do this? This will lead me to that. And once you engage with that, that becomes the root cause of your suffering. So thought is not a bad thing. Thinking, or rather overthinking about something, is what causes suffering. And when we are not thinking, we are connected to the Supreme. We are at our best. Like there was an example. If somebody is a painter, when he's painting, he's just in bliss. You ask him, what are you thinking? He says, I'm not thinking at all. I'm just doing. And that's why it is the best. Also, peace, love, and joy are our natural states. And ironically, all our life, people tell us, you have to work towards peace. You have to, do something to be loved. Your joy, you have to work towards getting joy. The truth is, it is our natural state. We don't have to do anything to get that. But thinking about all that or more of that, that is what creates suffering. That takes us away from peace. If you have seen a small child, the small child is at peace. It is not thinking. It is happy. It is just doing what it does. lying in bed, maybe looking at its hand, and its hand is its best toy, doing like this, and it's happy. Love and joy and peace are our natural states. We need to create an environment which encourages non-thinking. We should stop telling each other and ourselves, oh, think about it, dwell on it, you analyze the pros and cons, you do a little more research. We should encourage people thinking. We should encourage people to think slightly differently. What are you feeling? Are you feeling good about this decision? If you take this kind of decision, will you be happy? Once we encourage people to think like that, or behave like that, or respond like that, it will slowly lead people towards non-thinking, only feeling. And that, I think, will actually take us towards our natural state of being peaceful. We all, I think, we need to make and maintain list of things which excite us, which give us peace and joy. Seriously, if you, after the session, if you sit down and think, what gives you peace and joy, you will find that they're all small things, nice things. Some of us may say, I like to go in the park and sit on a bench and just be there. I don't need to do anything. That gives me joy. See how you can go on adding to that. See how you can increase that list and keep doing that. And that you will find that all the rest of your time, when you are engaged in various transactional activities, economic activities, you will find that that actually slips over and falls over, and you experience peace and joy even in this transactional behavioral part of life. The last thing and a very important thing is we need to get away from thinking. But it is difficult. Like one of the reviewers mentioned, we are always thinking, whether we like it or not, 50 to 60,000 thoughts a day. So what are we doing? How can we get away from this? I believe that minute a thought comes and we begin to engage with it, that if we are aware of, oh, I am aware that I am thinking. That minute you bring the awareness, it is like applying brakes. Then your thought will be stopped from going towards thinking. Like Bharat put up a nice slide saying that all the thoughts seem to be positive, but thinking about them makes them negative. So if we are aware that I am going from thought to thinking, then once we are aware, then we can stop ourselves. So in conclusion, I would like to say that this book, while honestly is not rocket science, it is what is also written in the Bhagavad Gita, but it is a very practical approach to how we could be attaining what we all want, happiness. But basically, I think everyone, all that we want is happiness. In whatever form, shape, size each of us may visualize it, that is what we want. And the best way to get there is not try to think that we are in control, but accept that what is not in our control is not in our control, and only that which we can control, which is our thinking about it, which will make our life peaceful and joyful. I am sure all of you are excited enough after this kind of a review that that you would like to read this book again for a personal insight, or at least that you have understood that what we want is easy to get if only we stop thinking about it. So thank you, everyone. In the end, I think we would like to have one small role play which kind of helps summarize this. Over to you, Bharat and LeeAna.
Yeah. LeeAna.
Master, can you please tell me about the good and bad things in life?
My friend, have you seen a piano? Are there any good and bad keys in a piano?
Master, I do play the piano, and all keys are important, even the white ones and also the black ones.
Exactly. There is no good or bad. In life, there is really nothing good or bad. Only few things work and few things they don't work. Just that, like when you're walking up a mountain, you're seeing some scenery. You stop at many places to see a scenery. There is no wrong place to see the sight. It is just like, you get a better view at some points. That's it.
Master, why you do this? Whenever I come to you for any solution, you tell me that I should just sit calmly and the answer will just come to me. I just can't seem to understand it.
My dear friend, supposing like, you see a ditch of dirty water and I asked you to like, make it clean. What you gonna do? You don't have any tools or filter. I'm not giving you any tools or filter. What you gonna do?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, just let it sit for some time. All the dirt will settle down and the clear and clean water can be taken from the top. Exactly the same analogy. When your mind is disturbed, you are agitated. Just sit down calmly and let the thought settle down. It will. You just have to wait. Don't think. Don't analyze and find that slowly the solution will come to you on its own. You'll be surprised yourself. The answers are within you. I know you think it is too simple, but my friend, it's always simple.
So much, Master. I will definitely try.
Yeah. Always bless you to have a cheerful and blissful life.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Wonderful, wonderful. And LeeAna, I love the small child in you.
Yeah. Actually, it was like the body language and etc. Was overwhelming.
I thought it was a recording that you all were playing, and then suddenly I saw it's LeeAna making the sound. Beautiful.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yes. I personally, it was wonderful. And what I would take away is when you all talk about thought and thinking, I feel something that I was just trying to correlate to my champion. If I leave him to himself, and he loves to create a car, he loves to create. So if he's with himself, he will go for hours together. Nobody needs to disturb him and he'll do wonderful things. But if I tell him to study, then every 5 minutes he will have something or the other coming up, some thought, something. So I think that something that comes to you naturally is what the author is talking about, thoughts. And I feel thoughts are something that we are passionate about. So that's why they are inherent in us, because those are the qualities that we have. And thinking is something, it is external forces are trying to force you to guide your thoughts in a particular direction. I think that is my take on it, right?
Yeah.
And that is something that we are not passionate about, and that's the reason there's a lot of anxiety, because we are not into it. Our soul is not into it, right?
Exactly.
I don't think I need to sum up, because y'all did, I think particularly LeeAna and Roopa, they did a wonderful job. Kundu sir, you have any?
Yeah. Okay. Only that I feel, first things, again, I am disheartened into the only less than 20 people joining.
Yes.
Maybe at times I feel, okay, let me honest, book is very good. Content of the book is very good. They talk about the ultimately inner peace and the harmony and that type of things, whatever the thinking and all other things. We got it. Obviously, I have an intention to read the books, that we'll do. And I think that is for everybody. Only except for Dr. LeeAna. She has done a fantastic job. Okay, all have done good. She is obviously best of the lot. I feel that at times it feels a bit boring. Let me be honest. Just reading the slides, that need to be improved. As every time when we do the book reading, whatever the good contents are there, that need to be presented, go deep into the minds of all the readers and the people who are seeing. For that, sometimes you need some acting also. So that is been bit missing. Try to improve on that. Dr. Sandhya, am I right on that one? Hopefully you will be supporting me.
Right, Kundu sir.
No, it's not. I am not demeaning anybody. Please, only that to make the increase in the number of people who've been able to get interested in all those things. And again, I feel we should go back to the original time, 9:30 to 11. That's my personal feeling. Okay. Now up to you. Good, very good. All of you have done the best job. Content of the, again, I'm telling, content is fantastic. Everybody should read the book. Only that maybe the presentations, it could have been a bit improved. Dr. LeeAna's really exceptional. Thank you all.
Yes, I think what Kundu sir said, it is very important, because when we speak, when we are totally involved in it, our energy level is conveyed to the audience. And I feel we should always keep track of the, I personally, when I'm talking, I keep track of the participants, because the participants are a reflection of how we are doing. The moment we are not doing well, we're not able to hold on to the participants, they start dropping. So it's very important, whatever it is. Otherwise, the activity part, I think Ravindranath ji, Ravindranath, and do you want to say something?
Haji,
Or
I just joined. Sorry, madam. I got late.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. So Deepa, Ritu, Jayashree, Sekhar, Rupali has been right from beginning. Pavan.
I found it very good. I'm sorry I cannot turn my camera on.
Yeah.
It's been wonderful. I really liked the review. And I especially liked the role plays. I mean, it is clearly understood that a good in-depth analysis of the works is done. I really liked that. That was really good.
Yes. Yeah, the energy
So
level.
can I add something?
Yes, sure, Jayashree.
Okay, this is very interesting, engaging, and especially the role play master and disciple. It was amazing. I really enjoyed, and the book gave us a very, very clear picture. So when I'm going to read it, I have not yet read the book, but this gives me that motivation to read the book. So I'm going to get that book and I'm going to read it. Okay, very interesting, and like kudos to all the 4 book reviewers. Okay, very nice, very nice.
I really particularly, I love the summarization, you all did, LeeAna and Roopa. The summarization was very, very insightful. The role plays, whether it was Bharat, was totally involved. I love the monk real plays, the role plays. So it was a nice, I could see, and I personally, because I've been a part of the group, I've seen the efforts that you all have put in. It was nice. Only thing is, yes, sometimes some of us have to focus on the way we present. And I think in the personal chat, I've already conveyed. So each one of us, we need to work on that, because it's the energy level. It is not about how, I may be exhausted, but it is not about me. My audience, I have a duty towards my audience. My audience is giving their time on a Sunday. So they deserve that energy level. Whether I have that energy or not, I have to portray that energy level. That is personally my thought, right? Right, Kundu sir?
Yes. Thank you.
That's
Thank
right.
you all.
Yes.
All have done really a good job. No doubt about that. Only that.
No, Kundu sir, your approach was to the point and it was required. And with your level of experience, what you said, yes, we need to listen to it. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. So have a wonderful Sunday, whatever is left. If there are any other comments, y'all can. Otherwise, we can call it a day. Right? Thank you, LeeAna. Thank you, Bharatji. Thank you, Roopa. Thank you, Harshali.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
Thank you, everyone.
All the very best.